Hello, welcome to the Ashley and Lancelot Show. This is going to be the political news one that's been going around. I'm still having trouble with posting sources and everything else on the screen. You can pretty much Google all this stuff, research it. Most of the news I get from is Washington Post and New York Times. Those are pretty much the most reliable one for journalism. CNN and Fox, I don't really care much about because they are usually one-sided, and I do not care if you're Republican, Democrat, or any third parties. I don't really care what you think about. Actually, I do. That's why you're gonna leave a comment below, and you're gonna fight me, debately, hopefully educationally, on what you think about it. Then I'll reply to it. To hopefully have enough comments to reply to a lot of comments. So far, I got no comments so far. Probably because I've been YouTubing for 2 weeks. So we'll see mostly about it. One main thing is the educational secretary. I forgot what her name is. I think she's very unfit for her job. She has no idea how to run an education system. She I don't know why everyone thinks that charter school is the best way to have your kids in. Actually, it is not. Usually, because anyone can actually open a charter school and grab the money from the government and not be accountable for it. You should really research this. Hopefully, I'll put a link down below so there's a percentage of it. There's a lot of charter school because people that actually opens it takes the money and leave. It's like over hundreds and millions of dollars of worth of funds that you put in a ditch and you just leave it there and you can't get it back anymore. And I believe that public school is one of the best ways to get your education because I've been in public school. A lot of my friends have as well. Very few of them go to private school until they finish middle school, then they move to a high school public school because now everyone can afford public schools, especially people making minimum wage. A lot of these private schools are religion based that I know so far. Like my brother Lucas went to a Chinese Christian school. I used to taught computer science and robotics when I was 18 there for the summer for a course in San Leandro. It's not there anymore. They moved to I think they had one in Alameda. I think that's where my brother went to. He doesn't go there anymore, so I really don't care about what I talk smack about that school. Usually it's just people have different views of it. I don't believe creationism should be in the school. Um, I don't believe any religion base should be in the school. I believe that if you want a religious system, just make a club. That's it. Not everyone is going because everyone has different religion, and I don't, doesn't matter. America, if you look through history, America was not only based on Christianity. There were the Quakers, the Protestants. There are a whole list of them. Like Pennsylvania was a Quaker state, and I think one of them was because a lot of the people that moved from England to America were basically running away from the persecution of the Catholic Church. They didn't like the rules and what they have said, so they come to America and have their um, own belief, what they think what the Bible represents. And people don't understand this. Is this there are a lot of different types of Christians out there. A lot of different types of Catholics are out there. But the problem is they all have the same Bible. Sometimes they actually modify the Bible, like the Jefferson Bible. If you don't know what a Jefferson Bible is, look it up. It's actually a Bible that Jefferson just basically cut out all the good stuff and posted on a book. That's the Jefferson Bible, basically, made by Thomas Jefferson. So it's very interesting how our country became what it is to be now. She has no certification at all. If I want to have an education secretary of education, I want to have a teacher. has 10 or more years and actually do stuff for the school. Usually, a teacher is the one that changes and teaches the students, not the principals, not the counselor, not the school administrator. They make more money than a freaking teacher does. I actually defended the teacher's cut back in 2006, 2007 at the city hall in San Leandro. Oh, you got it was yeah been there. It was just crowded all over this city hall. It was mostly students telling the the mayor just to shut the hell up and give the teacher the raise that they need. Because back then there was a lot of teacher strike in Hayward, all over California, because they weren't getting the raise. They were making, they can't live on just one income anymore. And a lot of these teachers has student loan debts. They have to keep going to school to know what to be more relevant with the teaching that it is now today. We're also one of the poorest, the one of the poorest top. Let me just research this thing. Let's see how far it is. What is our state education list in the world? This is from Huffington Post. Let's see here. Top 20 in the slideshow. I don't want a slideshow. I know it's pretty damn low. Here, education ranking in America. We're not top 10. U.S. ranked 14 in education. South Korea is number 1. Then Japan, then Singapore, Hong Kong, Finland, United Kingdom, Canada, Netherlands, Ireland, and Poland. And the other 11 out of 20. Holy shit. I think I am going to post this into the site. Yeah, we're pretty bad as education system wise. There are people in middle school that does calculus. My stepmom, she's actually my mom. She took care of me when I moved in with my dad. She actually tutored me. My dad did the English for me. I have a stuttering problem, speech problem, because I spoke more Korean back then when I was a kid than English. Then I spoke more English later on because I went to law speech, ESL, and everything else. I don't do that anymore. I got sick of it. I just brought a college book in middle school and I want it out. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Yes, the education system is pretty bad in America. Usually the SAT and the ACT, those are the actual curricular tests. See how the schools are good at, or what their level is pretty much at. I call bullshit on that because there's a lot of masters and PhD teachers that cannot really do the damn test. And also, usually these people that actually wrote the booklets aren't really teachers or educators at all. And people that are making laws for education don't have no experience of education as well. So I believe if you're going to have education secretary or any kind of education position, a political and government position, they must have a teaching job requirement. You know, for a certain amount of years. I believe 10 to 20 years should be the minimum to be one of these curriculars. This is the only way that we can actually, because they know what to teach the kids. They know what they should do and everything else. These people don't. Especially, I think her name is Betsy, whatever. I don't give two shits. She is going to be. She even got blocked off from going into a public school because everyone called bullshit on her stuff. The second one is the Attorney General. This said that marijuana is all evil, root of evil. No, it's not. There haven't been one death from marijuana unless you lace it with some other drug, and that's a different story. That's not just marijuana. That's marijuana and PCP, cocaine, stuff like that. Marijuana is supposed to mellow you out, but I do believe that you should not drive while you smoke pot. Because I also take medical marijuana due to my pain. Because if I don't take it, I'll be agonizing on the floor. And other than that, because Vicodin and oxycodone is a form of cocaine and heroin, so I also destroyed the lining of my stomach and have a lot of medical issues because of it, because I took a lot of it. Took a lot of opiate in the military because of my pain, and it's not funny. If you take these drugs for a long portion of the time, will destroy your body, and I'm an example of it. One of the another EPA personnel that just got in, I believe, or I have now don't know if it is. I usually watch I actually do watch the Senate floor and everything else that's on live. Um, he should be out too because they're trying to get rid of the EPA and registration for it. EPA should stay. It should be more broadened upon because the Environmental Protection Agency should make the environment a better place because we do have a lot of chemicals that will destroy the environment and harm other animals as well. We have so many plastic out in the oceans. It's not even funny. I see a whole bunch of freaking photos of whales thinking that it's squid, but it's actually 30 bags plus more in their stomach, and they're like agonizing pain and dying. Why don't we just put bags in your food and grind it up with hamburger and see how you like it? Because you can't digest it. You can poop it out because it's a smaller piece, grind it up, but other than that, it's like it's common sense. We dump a lot of trash, chemicals, and pretty much we're destroying, as a human, destroying the earth rapidly than before. Because before we several hundreds, like I don't know when plastic was invented, but before plastic was invented, uh, it wasn't that much of a problem because metal can be reused and um, remelted and reused because it's metal. Plastic, uh, I know you can recycle it, but I don't know how well you can recycle plastic because you cannot just liquefy plastic. It hardens. Uh, and if you burn it, it's going to turn a different chemical property, and it's just basically fuel for the fire, um, for the plastic. But I believe that oil should, like after like I think we should stop using fossil fuel after 10 to 15 years. That's it. No more fossil fuel because too much pollution. Look at China. I've been to China, Beijing, Tianjin. Oh God, the sky is never blue. Oh my, the air is so bad. When I was there in high school, I was with my mom and dad visiting our grandparents there. It's so bad. And humid too. But I want to go back there. Was for the we were there before the Beijing 2006 Summer Cup, I believe, Olympics, because they were painting the whole street and everything else. But it's really bad. Um, and fossil fuels can be gone in long, not not too far from here. I believe we have like 50 to 100 more years left on Earth with fossil fuel, and that's that. And we need to find other alternatives. We have electric cars. We can electrify the ground. We can also, if you look at what Switzerland, Netherlands doing, they have these devices you step on the sidewalks, and every time motion goes in, you actually have electricity powering it up to a battery. That's one thing we should consider. I believe in solar panels. I believe in nuclear power as well because it's clean air. But the problem is though, you gotta regulate it. A lot of these nuclear power plants that we have on in America are very old and very so it may be more a safetier and more efficient way of building a new power plant. That'd be great too. But other than that, we're just destroying. We just don't care and just destroy the whole thing, whole population. Not a lot of people do community service anymore. I do a lot. I do at least community service about 4 to 8 times a month. To do my civic duty, I help with the deaf and the blind. I do a VA administration advocate. I do a lot with a nonprofit organization. I help a lot with the homeless, the VA homeless. I do a lot of stuff to keep myself occupied because I don't want to stay at home and it's gonna drive me crazy. Um, But other than that, yeah, the Muslim ban, the temporary ban in seven country, to me is just a joke. Remember, all this is all my opinion. If you don't like it, comment down the bottom. Just comment down the bottom. Give me a good argument for it. If you're gonna give me a half-ass argument, I'm not gonna answer it. I'm gonna call you out on it on the next video. So basically, you ban seven countries that are actually zero death of America, but Egypt, Syria, I believe other countries, Muslim country, a country that's mostly Muslim based, religious wise, has higher death rate for Americans. That doesn't make any sense. I I believe what we have in refugee was fine, but people with H1 visas coming in actually work for the technology and everything else. You're actually destroying their family as well. A lot of people in America can't afford colleges to actually work in a high tech job right now. How many programmers do you have that's actually good at their job and getting hired by Google or Apple? It might be cheaper in another country, but also how people are actually fluent in the language. You know how hard computer programming language is. I already know a handful so far. I'm not even fluent at it right now. Even my teacher, also a friend of mine, uh, getting back at the game, doing web page design again. I was like, holy crap! But he did it for years and years, and you always have to apply yourself every time. It's one of those things that you gotta think outside the box and the controversies. Also, the stupid wall they want to build by the border of Mexico. That's not gonna stop Mexicans. How do you think they come over here? Through like the border? Through the border? No. About 20-30% of the people will cross illegally through the border. Majority of them fly on an aircraft with H1 visa and just stays here. A lot of them have workers H1 visa just to work here seasonally at the farms. A lot of farms have immigrants picking our strawberries and blueberries. Do you want to have the job to pick up a blueberry and strawberries for us, banana and oranges? I'm not. Oh hell no, I'm not. And my friend, that's Oscar. He's not gonna go into a farm and pick his own vegetables and pick it for you for a minimum wage, lower than minimum wage, or for minimum wage. No, no one's going to. So it's also a benefit for us. And California basically support one third of the food support throughout the whole world as well. And all these riots, police going in and handcuffing these immigrants, that's giving us a bad name, and it's not benefiting us whatsoever. So, and I'm actually scared for my life too, because I'm happy that most of my all my family here in California has finally got their citizenship, and yeah, it took them a while, but they got their citizenship. But other than that, it's just really dumb. People have to research these things. Even the border, I forgot what it's called. I did a news article for my history class. It was about the border patrol and how many people are there, and how many people they actually capture and release, stuff like that. And the taxes to build a wall, they're not going to pay for. We are. Whatever taxes that he's going to say they can implement, we're going to pay that percentage of it in taxes here. So hopefully you guys don't like avocados, because avocados going to be expensive again, be 20% more that we got to pay for. And maybe we don't get that much products from Mexico anyway. So, and China and other stuff, I think they're just going to stay there, and we're just going to pay a little more for it. I only see a lot of American companies putting back factories and steel mills as well. Most of the Dakota Keystone, the pipeline, I think it's a full of crap. I think it should not be there. They're actually going on the Indian tribes reservation land that the government promised that they're going to let them have, but instead it's going to leak. It's going to leak all the way through the water line and everything else. If this actually thing actually goes through, even the veterans over there protecting, helping out with the Indian reservation, and to me it's just dumb. There's so many. If you look up the cost reference law of the oil spills is tremendous. And there's also another there's like about 400,000 gallons of oil in North Dakota that was once exploded, and they're still cleaning up that oil for like past 4 years. If you want to have the world with oil in it and killing everything in your path, go for it. But to me, it's just stupid, very stupid. The longer the pipeline is, the sensor's not going to get it, especially in the cold. A lot of these pipelines is burst because of the cold, and steel is brittle in the cold, especially frozen ice cold. They're very brittle. If it's too darn hot, it's going to steel's metal's going to be brittle as well. So I don't know what the common sense is with that as well. Instead of fixing all this, why don't they just fix the damn VA system and help give veterans a living wage they can live off of? Fix our medical. I'm happy that my mom still has Obamacare before they're going to repeal it, because a medical bill will be more astronomically more expensive. Try to get her into my VA because I'm to take care of her past 6 months so far, and have her use my TRICARE a lot, because so that whatever happens to Obamacare, it will not affect her as much anymore. I can see this country is going to go upside down. Then might be impeachment, may not, but I know that everyone's going to be very salty in both ends. Um, Whatever I said, just cross reference it. If you want to send me the link, send me the link. I'll do an apology video if I'm wrong. I will definitely do an apology video if I'm wrong, but if you don't give me any evidence, facts, anything else, has to be a reliable source. One thing you gotta know, it has to be a reliable source. I might just do a video about reliable source. It's one of those things that people do not know how to do anymore. Cross-referencing facts and everything else. Just don't get your news on one political site. Check multiple political sites. Check the background and everything else for it. Well, hope you guys are entertained and have me rant about these things that's happening in our own country that's basically turning to a pile of crap. So, have a good night. Bye.